Dark Souls remade in Skyrim.
Believe it or not, both Skyrim and Dark Souls 1 both released less than a month apart from one another back in 2000.
Skyrim and Dark Souls 1 released less than a month apart from each other. I thought Skyrim came out like 6 months ago. Because isn't that whenever they brought out the new Skyrim game? And didn't it come out 6 months before that too? Yeah, I mean, I feel like Skyrim comes out all the time.
2011. And there has been no shortage of Dark Souls inspired mods for Skyrim since that time. But today, I discovered something that I don't think a whole bunch of people knew existed.
Okay.
And that's an entire port of Dark Souls 1's world into the Skyrim engine.
No fucking
way. And I mean,
way.
Entire world. Rudolph's Dark Souls Alpha is so far...
Can you go from, like, Blighttown up to Firelink, though?
3-month-old project made by just one modder that brings the land of Lordran to Skyrim. From the homely abode of Firelink Shrine, all the way up to the epic heights of Anor Londo.
Oh my god. One man. And look at the scope of it too, is it's even got like the city of Anor Londo around it too. And you can see up at the top there, there's Seath's laboratory. This is incredible. Holy fuck.
And well, everywhere in between.
Oh my,
the
dude, I
mod
have
also
to
adds
try
the painted
this.
world, the undead asylum, and even the
Wow.
DLC world space. It's pretty nuts just how much has been created in such a small time frame, and after speaking to the author myself, they claim that it's only part 1 of 3. Part 1 focuses on bringing the world into the game, part 2 adding enemies and bosses, and part 3 followers and companions. And if you're wondering why you haven't heard of this seemingly momentous project, that's because it isn't even one of these huge projects such as Skyblivion or Skyros. It's just one dude that thought it would be cool and liked modding enough to give it a shot. But enough of describing the big picture, I wanted to actually give you guys an insight into each of these areas because they are just so cool to see in the Skyrim engine. You start in the Undead Asylum, the tutorial area for the game. Here you'll instantly be familiar with the layout and location, because it's near identical to Dark Souls. Areas like the Bonfire Courtyard, the broken cell that you pick up your first Estus Flask, the Asylum Demon Boss Room, and of course the clifftop walkway up to the Giant Crow that takes you to Firelink Shrine.
Bird.
Now when you arrive at Firelink Shrine, you'll start to notice the small things that make a project like this feel so cool to have in the Skyrim engine. I mean, the simple things like being able to have a full day and night cycle around these locations is really cool, considering you're only used to seeing each area of Lordran.
I'm really glad they did this because I don't think people appreciate enough the interconnectedness of Dark Souls 1. It was effectively an open world game that nobody even knew existed. It's so incredible. Absolutely fucking, like, I remember playing through it and seeing all the connections, and especially I played through the Daughters of Ash, the mod, and like that one forces you to see all the connections, and it was just unbelievable, man.
In specific environmental times dependent on what the developers thought it best suited. And of course, with EMB and other general Skyrim mods, they really shine in a different light than we're used to seeing them, quite literally. From Firelink Shrine you have two options, either progress upwards to Undeadburg, or descend down past the graveyard to the catacombs, which is home to tight dark passageways and skeleton-infested caverns, even giving a sneak peek into the flaming city of Lost Izalith, before descending deeper into the dark abyss. The catacombs is a dark and treacherous area of Dark Souls 1, located beneath the graveyard of Firelink Shrine. It's a labyrinth network of narrow passageways, hidden traps and deadly enemies, filled with the bones of long-dead warriors and necromancers who continue to animate the dead. As players progress through the catacombs, they'll eventually come face to face with the boss of the area, Gravelord Nito, who, like all the other bosses in this port, currently are just static meshes. But in part 2, the mod author plans to implement them into the game so you can enjoy fighting them in Skyrim.
I wouldn't really give a fuck about actually playing the game. I would just want to explore the world. I think this is really cool, man.
Despite its many dangers, the catacomb holds many secrets and treasures for those who are brave enough to explore it. Hidden areas, secret passages, and powerful weapons and spells can be found all within its dark, foreboding depths. However, returning back to the surface is Undeadburg. Undeadburg is the first areas that players encounter in Dark Souls 1, and it serves as sort of a tutorial for the game's mechanics. It is a walled city filled with undead. The area is characterized by its narrow streets and alleys, which are often blocked by debris and barricades. As you progress through Undeadburg, you will encounter various obstacles and enemies, including the Hellkite Dragon, which guards the bridge leading to the Undead Parish, and remains one of the game's most memorable areas.
Yeah, I would
and
say
I know
so.
you want to see it, so below this area lies Blighttown, which is one of the most infamous and challenging areas in Dark Souls 1. Located deep beneath the city of Undeadburg, it is a festering pit of disease, decay, and poison, filled with rickety wooden walkways, toxic sludge, and swarms of deadly creatures.
I wonder if they have free look in this game where you can like fly around and look through everything, or do you have to do everything with the character?
The area is known for its difficult platforming segments, which require precise jumps and careful navigation to avoid falling to one's death. At the bottom of Blighttown lies Quelaag's domain.
Oh wow.
The lair of Quelaag, the boss of the area.
Shit.
With its harrowing atmosphere, Blighttown and Quelaag's domain remain some of the most memorable areas in Dark Souls 1, and furthermore, lead us deep into the ruins of Lost Izalith, an underground lava.
It's crazy, what the fuck? One guy did this? Holy fucking shit, this is insane. The scope of this project is insane. I know, what the fuck?
Infested city, which is a little work in progress in this port, but still really gets me excited to see future updates to this mod, especially knowing that all of this only took 3 months so far. And something I'm even more excited to see finished is at the base of the very world itself, past the winding rooted path leading deep under the earth, lies Ash Lake, a hidden area with a vast open space with towering arch trees and deep waters. Obviously the assets aren't fully complete here, but you can see where this place is heading and really captures the feeling that you get when you come here in Dark Souls. Finally, in the lower area of Lordran, we have Sen's Fortress, which is
wonder, like, can you fly from, like, Sen's Fortress to Anor Londo, though, or is it separate? I don't know. That's what I'm really curious about. Like, how much of this world is, like, one piece and how much isn't?
Also a work in progress, which leads up past the Great Wall, revealing the most impressive area in this mod.
It does. Wow.
Anor Londo is one of the most iconic locations in Dark Souls 1, a city that rests high above the rest of the world. It is a place of grandeur and majesty, where the sun never sets.
I've said before, and I'll say it again. Dark Souls 1, from the beginning of the game to completing Anor Londo and becoming, you know, getting the Lord Vessel, there are experiences in video games that are as good as that, but there is nothing that is better. It is the best.
And the stars are always bright. Upon arrival, the player finds himself standing on a wide bridge leading into the city, flanked by towering statues and lit by a brilliant sunset. Anor Londo is a city of contrasts, with grandiose architecture and sweeping vistas juxtaposed with treacherous traps and deadly enemies.
I guess he did that with, like,
the city is made up of towering spires and glittering towers, with massive, intricately carved doors leading to hidden chambers and secret passageways.
Yeah.
And just like in Dark Souls, your main area of interest within this great city is the throne room at the heart of the palace. The throne room is a marvel of architecture with towering columns and sweeping arches, framing a massive, ornate throne with everyone's favourite chest ahead.
Dude, I remember whenever I played this the first time. Oh my god.
Atop the cliffside overlooking Anor Londo
lies
such
a big
Duke's Archive and Crystal Caves, two interconnected areas located in the game's later stages. The Duke's Archive is a towering library.
I want to also draw attention to the fact that Guinevere is fully animated, while Seath, Gwyn, all of the other bosses are not.
Inhabited by the sorcerer Seath the Scaleless, while the Crystal
Seath,
Caves are a network of crystal caverns located beneath the Archive. The Duke's Archive is an imposing structure that is home to the ancient knowledge of the land of Lordran. The archives are filled with countless shelves of books, scrolls, and other artifacts, and at the top of the Duke's Archives lies the chamber of Seath the Scaleless. Below the Duke Archives lies the Crystal Caves, a labyrinth network of glittering caverns filled with crystal formations and treacherous pitfalls that lead down to the boss room in which Seath lies. Personally, the Duke's Archive is actually probably my favourite location ported in.
Wrong fucking opinion. Oh, ported in. Okay, I was about to say.
This mod, just because of the atmosphere it gives, and we've really not ever got anything like this in an Elder Scrolls game. So it's really cool to see it in the engine. And I mean, there's a million different areas in this mod. If you've played Dark Souls 1, you can go through and see them yourself.
Wow.
But the final area I'm going to shine a spotlight on in this video is the Kiln of the First Flame. Located beyond the Lord Vessel, it is a desolate, ashen wasteland where the fading embers of the First Flame burn low, and where the player would ultimately face Gwyn, the final boss of the game.
Holy shit.
With this area, along with everything else I've shown you in this video, I think it's safe to say that the scope of this mod is immense, and just for 3 months' work, it's
like this is probably more work went into this than most actual games. This is incredible, the level of detail. It's like, for example, like that's where the giant would throw the stuff. You go over this way, you talk to the guy in the full steel armor set. He sells you like large Titanite shards. Down below there is where the 2 Lordran Knights are. Like, holy fuck, man.
Especially insane. I will leave a link to the author's Twitter page in the description if you want to check out his work, along with keeping up to date with the updates to come. Be sure to drop them a follow, and in speaking to him while making this video, in his words, don't forget the classic, learn new things, develop, make mods, enjoy the little things, and let there be peace. With that being said, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed this, I might make follow-up videos.
Holy shit. So it does go all the way down to blood. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Covering part 2 and 3 as they're released, but other than that, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. If you're in the market for a new PC, then check out my page over at Apex Gaming PCs, where you can choose from 3 different tiers, designed after the specs my PC has to run modded Skyrim. Use code BURNS at checkout for 5% off your purchase, which when making an expensive buy like a PC can save a decent chunk of change. Other than that, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
This was incredible.
Take care.
Oh my god. Holy fucking shit, man. Look at this. Like, especially, dude, this was what I was hoping for. Because, again, like, I would like to go through this mod and play it just so people that don't really, maybe they played through Dark Souls 1 once, or maybe they've heard of the game, they can really appreciate how interconnected the world is. It's something that, like, I don't know how many games have ever done that before. Like, very, very few. Like, the last time that I felt that feeling of, like, an interconnectedness of worlds was whenever you played Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, and you would go from, like, the, you know, like, the dark world to the light world, and you'd go back and forth for it. I thought that was really fucking cool, too. And this was, like, this was the next time that I kind of felt that way. Like, Bloodborne, yeah, a lot of these games are like that. Skyrim, see, I never played Skyrim. Holy shit, this is incredible, man. Wow. I am astonished. I think this is just so cool, man. I'm so glad that I got a chance to watch this. Wow. Yes, I never played Skyrim. I'm not kidding. So, I downloaded Skyrim, and I was playing it. I turned on the game. I got it running. And I was in this wagon ride. And halfway through the wagon ride, I got bored and I quit the game. I'm not kidding. Yes. I was just like, I'm going to play WoW. Like, this is just like, oh, bro, like, yeah, right. And that was it. Quit 20 minutes after the wagons? I don't know. I'll have to play it one day. Absolutely insane. Yeah, it's possible with just one person with a passion. Yeah, exactly, man. A proper Dark Souls 1 remaster. This is unbelievable, dude. This is so fucking amazing. You gonna give it another try or not? I mean, I got a lot of other games I gotta play too. I don't know if I'm gonna have time for that or not. Show how many hours played on Steam. I didn't download it on Steam. Yeah, I downloaded it on another website besides Steam. But yeah, this is fucking amazing. Holy shit.